musical journey. And I did like 5 songs on there.
Yeah. And of course, Don't Curse is one of the more memorable ones.
Of course. That's the one.
And I was intrigued too, because Heavy, of course, made a point to not really cuss much, if at all. So do you remember what was happening creatively, or the discussion as to why you guys wanted to make that song in particular?
Just to have fun, because we did a curse version. We did a version with pure curses, and then we did that, with no cursing, and then, which was very creative, because I have to shout out every artist on that song, thank them very much for getting on a Pete Rock beat and making me somewhat noticeable in the music world. You know what I'm saying? But the Don't Curse song, Hev's last verse, when he says, worst came to worst, we all said a curse, and everybody's cursing like right after that. The whole crowd is saying "fuck you" and this and that, and all the curse words. And it's funny. I just felt that was funny that Hev has a huge personality, and he's very funny dude, and that's one of the things I enjoyed about him, is how much he made me laugh.
Yeah, I always thought that was an ironic song. So yes. Fair enough. And then with Kid and Play, it's one thing that you obviously Hev, you're related to him, he's your cousin. But of course, when you worked with Kid and Play, they were superstars, movies, cartoons.
Hev was on tour with them, and that's how that happened.
Oh, okay.
I was on tour with Hev and Kid and Play and Salt-N-Pepa and Guy and Johnny Kemp, rest in peace. And I was on tour with them for like a good amount of months, And on the big tour bus, that was my first tour experience with Hev. Everything was my first experience with Heavy D.
Wow.
All my first experience was through that. So that's how Kid and Play happened. And they believed in me also, and actually used 2 beats on their album, Bills at the Door. And I'm like, wow, do I have the title too? Wow, that's awesome. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to Kid and Play, to both Chris's from Queens. Those are the homies.
Yeah, that just always amazed me, because I understood the other stuff, but I was always curious of how the Kid and Play came about.
Yeah. So I was a youngin' then. I was just getting the hang of everything, because Groove Be Chill was my very, very first project by myself that I produced all alone, and I had to figure out the engineer. Engineer couldn't understand what I was trying to do. I didn't really know what I was doing. I was thinking he would know more than me and help me out, but we struggled a little bit for like 2 days and then got through it. And then it happened finally.
Yeah, because another one, of course, you did some Johnny Gill remixes and stuff like that.
Yes, that stuff. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So it's one thing to have the assignment to do the Groove Be Chill and to have the production on your own, but what was the challenge of actually having to really be in there by yourself with just an engineer? How did that shape you?
Because I was just a little like, damn, I hope this works out. Then I'm on the clock, like I gotta complete this. I'm on, the pressure was on. You know what I'm saying? I'm young. I'm 17 years old. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, man, I gotta get through this. And then I just woke up one day and breathed real deep, went back to the studio, and we got it done. We got it done. And that was my first project alone, with no untouchables, no nothing, just me. And it worked out, man. I actually built a rapport with the engineer and more engineers after that, and just kind of helped pull me along, you know what I'm saying? And once I got the hang of that, then I knew I was already, my mind was always prepared, when I'm going to the studio, because I already know what I want to do and so forth.
Okay. And speaking of that, also was the Is It Good to You remix that you did with Heavy D. And I was curious, even at this time with co-producing, producing, and then doing remixes, did you, even back then, did you understand the significance of power in remixes? Because at that point, they weren't as big as they got, but did you understand what they meant or what they could mean or not?
Well, they don't count, you know what I'm saying? But I was having fun doing them, you know what I'm saying? You get a fee, but it doesn't pay you long term. So I was young and I had something to prove. So I was doing these remixes for the fun of it, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And to get my name out there, to let people know, hey, it's a new sheriff in town, boom, you know what I'm saying? And then once they gave me a job, I felt like, I would have to do a version that's just as good as the normal of the original version or something way better. You know what I'm saying? And no disrespect to who I'm doing the remix for, because obviously, the record it was a hot record, and I felt like I was building my name at the time, and when I was getting these jobs, so I felt like I had to put my best foot forward and make a dope remix, And
right.
So, now once I started doing that and getting the hang of the remix game, I started to think long term and started doing like production for people on their albums and making my own albums, so forth.
Okay. And then when we get to All Sold Out too, I was curious because I always thought it was interesting how Mecca and the Soul Brothers is a song on the EP that predated it. So was that a coincidence? Was that strategy? Like, how did that end up?
Strategy. That was plain old strategy, saying like, let's just test the waters. That EP was a test the waters thing. And the response we got back was incredible. And, Max Roach's son signed us to Elektra Records. And a lot of people don't know that, but Raul Roach, shout out to Raul, you know what I'm saying? And shout out to Dante Ross too, because, he was a great A&R up there, for the hip hop, for that. Elektra was, who they were. They had like they never had hip hop before, you know what I'm saying? So Dante was running that section up for Elektra. So I'll give him some props. And then, yeah, so, you know what I'm saying? Once we got to the major part of things, we did this, we thought it would be a good idea to see how people will accept us by doing a 6-song EP. And then we took Mecca and the Soul Brother and we took the creator and put it on the album, Mecca and the Soul Brother.
Right. And then how did you decide when you were or were not going to rap on a song in this era?
That rapping thing was just, I'm a music guy, man. You know what I'm saying? I make beats, so, comes with the territory. And then I had influencing me to spit because they would hear me talk or hear my voice and think I would have, would say I have a nice rapping voice. Let's see if you can rap. Right, my first rhymes were written by Grand Puba. You know what I'm saying? I don't care about what people say about, somebody wrote your rhymes, blah, 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 blah. So what? I'm music. I make the beats. Don't matter. You know what I'm saying? I wrote my own rhymes before. Don't curse. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was my first rap I wrote by myself. You know what I mean? And yeah. Puba wrote the creator, and he wrote Soul Brother #1. And yeah, and then I went off and started writing on my own, and that's, that was one of those things that came with the territory, man. Like rapping. I did it when I wanted to. It didn't matter. I did it sometimes when people requested me to do it. Like, yo, could you do a verse? Can you spit some? Blah, blah, blah. All right. You know what I'm saying?
So as a producer, as somebody who's worked with some of the best rappers of all time, by far, why do you think there is in some circles still that stigma? Because as you're well aware, in the 70s and 80s, before rap even got popular and really was starting to get on record, not everybody wrote their own rhymes even way back then. So why?
you know, but me, because I keep my finger on the pulse of fans and hip hop in New York and all that stuff. And I hear things that they say. You know what I'm saying? And some people are not big on that. You know, you wrote your own rhymes, you ain't, you know, I got 2 other things to make up for that. You know what I'm saying? I'm a DJ and I'm a producer. And I love doing both. So y'all can say what y'all want, but not a lot of people. I just know that there's a thing out there that people say about people who write, you know, ghostwriting and all that stuff. You know, some people don't care about it. A lot of people do. You know what I'm saying? Me, I'm one of those people that don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. And I was making hip hop hits. I'm that dude. So
and we can see the plaques on the wall. So yes,
you know what I'm saying? You see them joints up there. So that's, you know, that's all. And then I looked at this music business as fun until I had to learn the business part of it.
And when did that?
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
When did that kick in for you?
Like later in life, like towards like 96, 97, 98, when things started to change. It's then when you learn things. And so, you know, some things are good, some things are bad, but you learn. And that's how you kind of avoid mistakes. Even mistakes that other people made, and you say, well, I don't want to go down that road. Let me try this road. You know, that type of thing. And that's how I maneuver.
Right.
Through the game.
Okay. And then with Mecca and the Soul Brother, of course, one of the famous things is the interludes and stuff. And to me, it's your beats like that. And then Public Enemy, like on It Takes a Nation of Millions to Hold Us Back, they did similar type of thing.
Yeah.
So what always made you comfortable, willing, wanting to do that?
I used to watch the Bomb Squad. Before I was anybody, I used to sit in the studio and see them working. I was witnessing Ice Cube's album go down in the studio, America's Most Wanted. And I was just a spectator watching Keith and Hank and a guy named Steve put these beats together. And so, you know, that's a lot of inspiration right there. And like you said, right, they had interludes, PE interludes. And I definitely took the blueprint from the Bomb Squad, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, that's some of the best unused beats on those 2 albums.
I mean, the greatest producers that I ever heard at that time was those guys. You know what I'm saying? And they did a whole Ice Cube project. Come on, man. You know what I'm saying? That's big. These guys are PE's producers. You got to think about PE's first album, second album, and third album. 3 smashes, and they tore the hell out of the world. You know what I'm saying? And so when I did Night Train remix and Shut 'Em Down remix, I was just happy to be on board in some sort of way. You know what I mean? And that meant a lot to me, man. And watching the Bomb Squad, that's where I got a lot of my ideas from, but took it in a way where I kind of said, you know what, that's the Bomb Squad, but do Pete Rock.
Right.
And so I would just find interludes that were funky, chop them up, and, you know, just put them in between songs.
And I want you to listen real close to me. I'm going to ask you some real simple questions, and I want some real simple answers. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yes, I understand.
You said that you couldn't have possibly been at the crime scene at 11:15 because you were in the bookstore buying my audio book and my hardcover book at 11:15 when the crime scene occurred in Soren's book.
The history of gangster rap.
So you couldn't have been at the crime scene because you were buying the books.
Right. At 11:15, I was at the bookstore at 11:15, and when I bought the books and accidentally left them at the store.
So at 11:15, you couldn't have been at the crime scene because you were buying books, right?
At 11:15, when I was leaving, it was some people coming in, and I forgot to grab.
But you don't remember who
what they look like.
What they look like or nothing, right?
No.
So, at 12:15, you were in the bookstore buying my audio book and hardcover book and Soren's book at 12:15. So you couldn't have been at the scene because you were buying the books, right?
Yeah, at 12, exactly, at 12:15 exactly, I was at the bookstore.
Now you see. You know you done fucked up.
What you mean?
First you said you were at the bookstore at 11:15, and then you said it was 12:15. You know you done fucked up, man.
He fucked up.
Yeah, he fucked up. He fucked up.
Man, you confusing me, man.
So, you get my book, my audio book, 40 years in Soren's book, History of Gangster Rap, and if you don't, you know you done fucked up, right?
Man, the more those cops ask me questions, the more I wish I bought them motherfucking books.